Wait, let's dive into this. We're looking at the global market for black pepper oleoresin today. And there's this pretty startling projection. It's expected to jump from about $139.6 million this year
Yeah.
to nearly $295 million by 2033. I mean, that's more than double.
It really is something. A huge leap. And just so everyone's on the same page, oleoresin. Think of it as the very essence of black pepper. All that flavor, that aroma, but super concentrated.
Right, the real punch of the pepper.
Exactly. And this report we're digging into, it's got data right up to March 2025, so pretty current. It really lays out what's happening now, where this market's likely headed, and crucially, the why behind it all.
Okay, let's get into those big numbers then. So globally, $139.6 million for this year, 2025. And climbing to, what was it, $294.92 million by 2033?
That's the projection. And the growth rate driving that, the CAGR compound annual growth rate, is pegged at 9.80% for that period, 2025 to 2033.
Almost 10% compounded year over year.
Yeah.
That's strong, consistent growth.
It really is. It shows there's some serious momentum here.
So geographically speaking, where's the biggest piece of the action right now?
Well, currently, North America takes the lead. They hold over 37% of the global market share for 2025.
Over a third.
Yeah, which translates to about $51.65 million in market value this year.
So North America is the heavyweight champ for now, but is it also growing the fastest? You mentioned that overall 9.8% CAGR.
Ah, good question. Not quite the fastest, actually. North America's projected CAGR is a healthy 8.2% through 2033. Still very respectable.
Okay, 8.2%. And within North America, is it mainly the U.S.?
Predominantly, yes. The U.S. market is valued at $40.75 million for 2025, growing at a slightly slower but still strong 8.0%. And a big part of that, the report suggests, is this huge consumer push towards, natural ingredients.
Yeah, you see that everywhere. Clean labels, natural this, natural that, it fits right in. What about Canada and Mexico?
Canada's showing a slightly higher growth rate, actually, at 9.0% CAGR, starting from a $6.2 million market in 2025. Seems like their distribution networks are really helping there. And Mexico, with a $4.70 million market this year, is projected to grow at a solid 8.7%. Also strong.
Right. Okay, let's hop across the Atlantic. Europe's a big player too, I assume.
Absolutely. Europe holds a significant share, over 29% globally. That's about $40.48 million in market size for 2025.
And their growth rate, similar to North America.
Pretty close, yeah. The projected CAGR for Europe is 8.8% through 2033. What's interesting in Europe, though, is how the picture varies a bit, country by country.
Oh, give us some examples. Where does it really pop in Europe?
Well, the UK, for instance, they're looking at a 9.6% CAGR, starting from $6.80 million this year. And again, it seems linked to that clean label demand.
Okay, higher than the regional average. Interesting.
And then you have Germany, an $8.02 million market, growing at 9.0%. There, the report highlights growth coming more from the pharmaceutical and nutraceutical side of things. They're leveraging the natural extract properties.
Fascinating. So different sectors driving it in different places. What about other parts of Europe?
Well, France is projected at 8.0% growth from $3.72 million. Italy at 8.2% from $3.48 million. Russia's market is sizable at $6.28 million, projected at 7.8% CAGR. And even, smaller markets like Spain, Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg, they're all showing pretty robust growth, mostly in that 8% to 9% range.
So broad-based growth across Europe, even if the specific drivers differ somewhat.
Exactly. And the rest of Europe combined still clocks in at a respectable 7.5% CAGR.
Okay. So North America and Europe are the current big dogs in terms of market size. But I feel like I read somewhere that Asia Pacific is where the really explosive growth is happening.
You are absolutely right. That's a key finding. While APAC's current share is smaller, around 24%, making it a $33.50 million market in 2025.
Right.
It's the growth rate that's turning heads. It boasts the highest projected AGR of any region, a staggering 12.6% between 2025 and 2033.
12.6%.
Yeah.
That is significantly higher than North America or Europe. What's fueling that fire in APAC?
It's a mix of things. You've got China, a big market already at $14.07 million, growing at 12.1%. A lot of that is tied to increasing health consciousness, more use in food, supplements.
Makes sense.
But then look at India. It starts from a smaller base, $3.35 million, but its projected CAGR is the highest nationally, anywhere 14.5%.
Wow, 14.5%. What's going on in India specifically?
It seems to be firing on all cylinders there. rapid expansion in food processing, a booming nutraceutical market drawing on traditional medicine, and even growing use in cosmetics. It's hitting multiple sectors hard.
Incredible. A multi-pronged boom. And other parts of Asia, Japan, Korea.
Also very dynamic. Japan's projected at 11.1% CAGR, South Korea at 11.7%, Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, all showing KGRs over 11, even close to 13% for Singapore.
Okay.
And Southeast Asia as a bloc is projected at 13.4%. It just really highlights that APAC is, well, it's the hotbed for growth in this market right now.
Definitely the region to watch.
Okay.
Let's quickly touch on the other regions. South America, smaller share, but potential there too.
For sure. South America holds just over 4% of the market share, around $5.3 million in 2025, but its projected growth is strong, 10.5% CAGR.
Okay, double digits.
Yep. Brazil leads the way there, $2.27 million market, 11.1% CAGR, driven by that preference for natural flavors. And Argentina is interesting. Its nutraceutical and pharma sectors are pushing growth to 11.4% CAGR. Colombia, Peru, Chile also showing solid 10-11% growth.
Good momentum there too. And the Middle East and Africa. Quickly, what's the picture?
Middle East is similar in size to South America, around 4% share, $5.58 million, but with a slightly higher projected CAGR of 11.1%. Saudi Arabia and the UAE are key players, both growing over 11%. Turkey and Qatar also showing strong growth, likely linked to culinary uses.
Right, spice use is central there.
Exactly. Africa has the smallest current share, about 2.2% or $3.07 million, but still projected to grow at a healthy 10.1% CAGR overall. South Africa's nutraceutical sector is a notable driver there, pushing its growth to 11.0%. Nigeria also shows decent potential in processing and pharma.
It's amazing how this one extract finds traction for different reasons all over the world. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. The report also breaks down the market by, the type of oleoresin, right? Organic versus conventional.
It does, and that's a really important distinction. Right now, conventional oleoresin holds the largest market share. That's mostly down to, wider availability and it generally being cheaper.
Standard practice, okay.
But the organic segment, that's where the fastest growth is happening. It has the highest CAGR by far. It perfectly mirrors that consumer demand we talked about, clean label, sustainable, natural products.
No surprise there, really. It matches everything else we see.
Yeah.
What about how it's made? The extraction process.
Yeah, two main methods discussed. Solvent extraction is currently dominant. It's seen as cost-effective, gives good yields. It's the established way.
Okay, the traditional method.
Right. But the one gaining serious traction, the fastest-growing method, is supercritical fluid extraction, SCFE, often uses CO2.
SCFE, why the buzz around that?
Several reasons. It avoids traditional chemical solvents, which fits the clean trend. It potentially produces a purer, higher quality product, maybe with better flavor and aroma profiles. And crucially, you can get higher concentrations of key compounds like piperine.
Ah, piperine, that's the compound often cited for health benefits, right?
Exactly. So that makes SCFE extracts particularly attractive for pharmaceutical and nutraceutical uses. Plus, it's generally considered more environmentally friendly.
So better quality, potentially healthier perception, better for the environment. It ticks a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Makes sense why it's growing fast.
Definitely seems like the way the market is heading, even if solvent extraction is bigger volume-wise right now.
Okay. And where is all this oleoresin actually being used? What are the main end-use industries?
The biggest user, by a significant margin, is the food and beverage industry. It's used widely for flavoring, for its natural preservative qualities. Think processed foods, sauces, snacks, seasonings.
The obvious application, really.
Pretty much. But the pharmaceutical sector is expanding rapidly as an end user. That growing interest in natural medicinal ingredients, particularly piperine, is fueling that. Nutraceuticals are another key growth area, and you also see it used in retail household applications.
So primarily food, but pharma and nutra are catching up fast. And how does it get from the producer to, say, a food company or a pharma lab? Distribution channels.
The dominant channel right now is business to business, or B2B. Makes sense, right? Big manufacturers buying directly from suppliers, often in bulk.
Direct supply. Got it.
But just like with everything else these days, online retail is the fastest growing channel. It offers convenience, direct access, not just for businesses, but maybe even smaller players or potentially direct consumers looking for specific ingredients.
The Amazon effect hits everything.
You could say that. Of course, you still have traditional channels like hypermarkets, supermarkets, specialty stores, and other business-to-consumer B2C routes playing their part too.
Okay, so we've got the size, the regions, the types, the uses, the channels. What are the absolute core drivers pushing this whole market forward?
The report really boils it down to three main things. First, just that massive ongoing demand from the food and beverage sector for natural flavors and preservatives. That's huge.
That's foundation.
Second, rising health awareness globally. Consumers actively seeking out natural ingredients they perceive as beneficial. Black pepper and its active compounds like piperine fit that narrative well.
The wellness trend.
Exactly. And third, the expanding applications in cosmetics and pharmaceuticals we touched on. Finding new ways to use its properties is opening up new avenues for growth.
And what about overall market trends? Anything else shaping the landscape?
Well, we've hit on the big ones already, but just to reiterate, that massive swing towards natural and clean label products is probably the most dominant trend influencing everything. And alongside that, the continuous technological advancements in extraction, especially the shift towards methods like SCFE that align with both quality and sustainability demands.
It sounds like a really dynamic space. Who are the main companies competing here? Is it consolidated or fragmented?
It's definitely competitive. You've got a mix big global players and more specialized regional companies. The report names quite a few key ones: Symrise, Cancor Ingredients, Plant Lipids, Vidya Herbs, Synthite Industries.
Some big names there. Kerry Group, BASF.
Right, Moksha Lifestyle Products, Austin Hockman, Arjuna Natural Extracts. It's a busy field. And competition really hinges on things like, their extraction tech, how good their distribution network is, the range of products they offer, and especially their ability to provide certified organic or other specialty clean label options.
Then I guess we see partnerships and M&A activity too.
Oh yeah, strategic partnerships, mergers, acquisitions, they're pretty common strategies for companies looking to get an edge, expand their reach, or acquire new technology.
Finally, the report mentioned a couple of recent developments. Anything noteworthy there?
Yeah, a couple of interesting points from the wider pepper world. Back in October 2021, the Indian Pepper and Spice Trade Association, IPSTA, launched eSpot trading for black pepper, basically trying to modernize and make trading more transparent.
Okay, streamlining the raw material trade.
Exactly. And more recently, May 2024, there was a partnership announced between a company called Pepper, which does digital ordering platforms, and CAI Software, which makes software for the food industry. These aren't directly about oleoresin, but they show modernization and digitalization happening in the broader spice and food ingredient world, which, ultimately affects the oleoresin market too.
Sure, the whole ecosystem is evolving. Okay, so wrapping this all up, the big picture seems really clear. This black pepper oleoresin market is set for some pretty impressive growth, driven largely by us wanting more natural stuff in our food, drinks, maybe even medicines and supplements. Asia-Pacific is the region really accelerating, especially India. And while conventional methods are still big, the future looks, well, organic and extracted using those advanced SCFE techniques.
That sums it up nicely. It's fascinating how consumer health trends, technological progress, and regional economics are all sort of swirling together to push this specific market forward.
So here's something to think about as you digest all this. How might these big shifts, the demand for natural, the better extraction tech, how might they push this market even beyond these already strong projections? Could we see totally new uses, new products emerging that we haven't even considered yet as we lean more into natural and sustainable options?
That's a great question. For anyone listening who's involved in, say, food science, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, maybe even agriculture, understanding these dynamics we've discussed could really point towards some significant opportunities in the coming years. It's definitely more than just a spice extract.